Okay, so this time we will do hard surface modeling with this base object. So that means hard surface modeling will give us very smooth but not sharp corners on our object, and to further enhance the curvatures of this model. Okay, so what I'll do first is I'll save this scene, file, Control S, and then I'll just go to File, Save As, and then I'll do ISO HSM or hard surface modeling, save it. So what I'll do is I'll now delete all of these backups because this is a different file now. This is the hard surface model. So what I'll do is I'll just press W here, shift click drag. So this is going to be my first backup, and then let's say we will name that base. Control H to hide that. So to start with your hard surface model, I'll just space bar to have this enlarge. First is you press 1, so that is your view of the original polygon base, the low poly. Then you press number 2, you will be able to see the smooth preview and the original base mesh. As you can see there, the cage, the cage frame, and then the smooth preview. That's the number 2 smooth preview. And then you press number 3 in your keyboard and you get the smooth view. So this is how your model will look like when we start smoothing it. So let's go back to number 2. So that's going to be our preview in modeling. And then while we are in number 2, let's go to edges or edge selection. So I would like you to turn on your edge, before we turn on the edge selection, let us first select our vertex selection so that we will make sure that these are all clean. I will select all of the vertices within the scene via this click and drag, and then I will take note of this vertex count. So if I select it, the vertex count appears here, and then I will go to edit mesh. I will choose merge. If the numbers change, it got less, that means there are overlapping vertices here. Okay, and that is good because if that means the overlapping vertices are now gone. I'll choose merge. But if the number did not change, it is still 234, that means there are really no overlapping vertices here. So I'll switch back to Q for selection tool, and then I'll switch to the edge selection, and then I will now start making this hard surface, or making this a hard surface model. It will be quicker if you will try to do here in your selection constraint. Now, while you are on the edge, go to your selection constraint and you can choose there, for example, let's say edge ring. The edge ring will do this. If I select one edge, that means it is selecting all of the parallel or aligned edges there. So we call that the ring selection because it goes around through the whole model. So this is what I'll do. I'll select that. It's quicker. And then I'll go to my connect. See, there's a connection there. I'll choose to connection. And then I will set the pinch. For now, let us set the pinch to 1. Or I can set it to 1.25. That depends on the distance. After that, I will now switch to the selection tool And as you can see, I'll turn this off first. And as you can see, the hard surface is starting to happen. So slowly, those corners are slightly getting rounded now and not being too sharp. But this also means we will need to add further edge loops onto this. And also, I can switch to the scale tool. The scale tool, I will switch to that while I am still selecting these new edges, and then I will drag along this axis here, along the z-axis, the blue one, right? I'll drag along that z-axis so that I can further tighten, because the nearer these edges are, the, let's say, smoother and a bit sharper the curvature will be, which give it a further hard surface effect. Okay, let me just do that. So now, I'll just go back to Q for selection. I'll click the empty area. This time, I'll go back to my selection constraint, which is ring. So I will hover over here, do another connect. So it's a good thing that the settings are being saved. So I'll just switch back to the selection tool and it is applied. Right? So as you can see, it starts to form out. So I'll do the same thing here. Connect. And then Q. There. I can also do it under the arc here. I'll select that. See? And then I'll do connect. There. And then Q. There. Now I can also select here, hold shift, select these, hold shift, select these. Now I can do a connect, and then let's say I want this raised a bit more, let's say 1.5, and then I'll just press Q, there. So after that, I can still use the scale tool and I can scale it along there. Just being careful there. Then press Q, go back to the selection. So slowly it's starting to form up. I'll also go here, select connect. This is going to be 1.25, and then I'll just go back to my move tool, or Q, sorry, selection tool, there. So now I'll just go back here, select this once more, connect, move tool or selection tool, also here, do the connect, and then I'll do the selection tool, Q, but this is a bit excessive. See, just double checking, it's not. So it is for this side. Okay, so that will be fine. Now it's time for this one, the arc, clicking that there, and then doing another connect. Let's further 1.5 there, and then I'll just press Q for selection. There it is, but I need to refine it further. So what I'll do is first I'll select this portion, I'll double click this loop, I'll turn off, and then I'll just double click this, because this time what I'm after is the loop. So I'll double click this, see, so it runs all throughout. I'll press R for scale tool, and again along this axis, the green one, I'll just drag downwards so that it straightens. So as it straightens, as you can see, the edge straightens. W, slightly raise it here. Okay, so next I'll just go to my Q, polygon selection, and then I'll go to my edge, do another bridge, sorry, bridge. That's wrong. I'll go to my W for move tool, slightly raise that. And then I will go here, select this, Q, selection tool. I'll turn on my edge ring selection once again, and then here. So I'll just continue there, so that all of the forms gets that hard surface look. So here, for example, I'll do a connect, but it's a bit excessive because there's already an edge there. So I'll switch to Q, and then I'll turn off this one. I'll double click this extra here, and I'll press Control Backspace to remove the edges and vertices. So the next thing is, again, go back to my selection constraint ring, and then I will select here on top, do another connect, Q, and then I'll select, oops, there's an excess here, right? So again, I'll finish this first, select, connect, Q, so all the excesses, I'll turn off that. I'll double click this, Control Backspace, I'll double click this, Control Backspace, and there we go. We have that one. Oh, okay, I think we need these two for the stairs. So now that I found out, I've done undo. Okay, so next I'll just select this. Oops, let's turn this on. Edge ring here. Then I'll just turn this off and do a connect Q. I'll do another edge ring, connect Q. I'm being careful with the selections because it's a bit now it's getting Control Backspace, because this is now getting a bit complex, so that's why being careful with the selections. Okay, so far they are appearing to be solid. Okay. So the next thing is this part of the stairs. So let's say I'll select this. Oops, let's go ring, select this, do another connect there, press Q. So now the stairs are getting cleared. Okay, so next is this. Let's see. I've already done that portion, so all has been already looped into that. But this one still needs, so that this curvature is removed. So I'll just select this, say that, and then also this, holding shift there, and let's do a connect, press Q there, so that got finalized there. But this redundancy, I'll just go back to turning that off, double clicking this, Control Backspace, do the same at the other side because there's more polygon here, Control Backspace there. Now it's time for the other steps. So just again open this edge ring, shift, connect. So I'll just select and I'll do a connect. Okay, so I'll just continue with this, connect Q, connect Q, and then this one's connect Q, connect Q, and then this one connect and Q. There it is, Q. Turning it off. There. So now you have something like this. Oops, I think we still need to do this outer portion here. So further. Oops, it's part of edge ring. Here, do another connect Q. Yeah, we don't have that. And turn it off. So now you have something like this. But of course, this is, I am viewing this at number 3 or at smooth view. So I will just press number 3 to turn it off, and then there. Or 1, sorry, I'll switch to number 1, and there you go. So now this is already on edge loop. Okay, so the next thing to do is we will now smoothen this. Now that we have this, you call this your support loops. Now that you have a support loop object, let's duplicate for backup, Shift H. So I'll just select this, shift click drag there. So I'll name this ISO wall with support loops, so support, or I'll just name it SL, that's support loops. And with the SLs added, I'll just press Ctrl H, selecting here. I'll just go to File, Save As, or save this scene as. This is going to be SL or support loops. And then I will go to File, Save Scene as the HSM or hard surface modeling. So it's back to that.